Welcome to this evening's concert. My name is Eric Olson, and this is the San Marco Chamber Music Society's annual performance benefiting the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Your support over the years has helped us raise nearly $30,000. We applaud your generosity. This concert is supported by a generous grant from the St. Mark's Foundation. Thank you.
This year, since we can't be together, we set up an online fundraiser, and the link is below. If you prefer to send a check, you can mail a check made out to JDRF to our address, which is on our website, sanmarcochambermusic.org. We now virtually welcome Leslie Burkhalter, a representative of JDRF, to explain a little about the mission of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation.
Good evening. I'm Leslie Burkhalter. I'm here on behalf of JDRF, having been a board member since 2001, and I'm so happy to be back. Ellen and Eric Olson invite me every year to speak on behalf of type 1 diabetes for JDRF. And I just want to thank the San Marco Chamber of Music Society that you have me back again. So some of you may not know exactly what type 1 diabetes is. It is when your own autoimmune system attacks the beta cells that are insulin-producing cells in our pancreas. Well, we can't live without insulin. And so, thankfully, through your support, we are able to report all of these new advancements that are taking place. The artificial pancreas, the beta cell encapsulation, and then also even reversal of retinopathy. And so these are huge, and those are just to name a few. I do recommend that if you want to learn more about all of those, just go to jdrf.org and you can read all about it. And interesting enough, this is the 50-year anniversary from the inception of JDRF. Back in 1970, two moms, just like Ellen and myself, founded this foundation. And let me tell you, we all are in it together. And we would appreciate your support tonight. So many things are going on. Everything is going viral. We have had to reorganize our entire JDRF chapters across the country. We need your help, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Leslie. Now a short selection composed by Christian Gonzalez, who is both a composer and a violist. He wrote this for Ellen and me this past December and presented it to us on Christmas Day. It's called Cartoon Hero, and it opens with our hero in the distance and coming to the rescue. Thank you, Christian. The title Cartoon Hero is very appropriate for today, since we all have the opportunity to be real heroes to everyone who is dealing with type 1 diabetes. 22 years ago this month, our then 2-year-old daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which changed our lives. Managing diabetes then required many blood tests each day by pricking your finger, mixing 2 different kinds of insulin, in a syringe and eating at set times to avoid low blood sugar.
Now, 22 years later, with all of the advances made possible through diabetes research, our daughter now only needs to test about once a day and has a continuous glucose monitor linked to a smart insulin pump. She has excellent control of her diabetes. The next step we are waiting for is a completely self-sufficient artificial pancreas, or better yet, a cure. And I want everybody to realize that insulin does not cure diabetes. Our daughter still has to fill cartridges with insulin and make sure that she's got enough insulin for the day, and she has to change her infusion set every 3 days. Still has a lot to do to manage this disease. So now we continue with music of Baroque composer Johann Gottlieb Janich. Born in Poland, he spent most of his professional life in Berlin, Germany. Much of his music was thought to have been lost during World War II, but had been taken as spoils of war to Russia, only to be returned to Germany around the year 2000. Today we are performing his Echo Sonata, named for musical phrases in the last movement followed by short echoes. It's remarkable to me that Janich composed this for viola, flute, oboe, and continuo, with the viola in an equal role to the other solo instruments. This is extremely rare in Baroque music, so we hope you enjoy it. Next, we have a piece from over 2 centuries later. This piece for 2 violas was composed by Paul Coletti in the late 1970s and revised in 2017. Paul Coletti is a violist who was born in Scotland of Italian parents and currently teaches viola at the Colburn School in LA. This piece is called Moonlight Journey, and it sure is a journey. It has a very mysterious and maybe magical feeling. For me, it almost feels like it might be part of a dream, how it goes from section to section and changes moods. DJ Cheek, principal violist of the Jacksonville Symphony, will join me in Moonlight Journey by Paul Coletti. Please enjoy.
It was Aaron Copland who called Howard Hanson the Dean of American Music. Howard Hanson, from 1939 until 1962, was a member of the United Nations Educational, Science, and Cultural Organization. You might know that group as its short name, called UNESCO. And in 1949, UNESCO commissioned Howard Hanson to compose a piece for their annual conference, which was held in Paris. In 1949 was the 100th anniversary of the birth of Frédéric Chopin, and so Hanson came up with this beautiful piece for oboe and piano. Hanson was the pianist at this performance in Paris, and it's very rare that he would make an appearance as pianist in those days. This work is influenced by Hanson's love of Palestrina, in which multiple voices come together and eventually, almost by accident, create beautiful harmonies toward the end. So what sounds like at the beginning very disparate and very autonomous voices, and seemingly have nothing to do with each other at the beginning, eventually come together to form some beautiful harmonies toward the end. Hope you enjoy.
Gabriel Fauré lived from 1845 until 1924. The fantasy for flute and piano was composed in 1898 at the request of Paul Taffanel. Paul Taffanel was the flute professor at the Paris Conservatory, and Fauré at this time was composition and orchestral studies professor at the conservatory as well. It is what is called a concours piece. In the Paris Conservatory, the concours is the test or jury piece at the end of each year to graduate from that year to the next level or to finish the program. Every year there was a new commission by a composer, and in this year Fauré wrote actually two pieces, the only two pieces that he ever wrote for flute. The Morceau de Concours, which was actually the sight reading piece. It's a very melodic and simple piece for the test. And then this piece, the Fantasy, for flute and piano. The nature of concours pieces is that they are short, that they're usually two-part. In this case, the opening slow and melodic part is in the form of a Sicilienne, and then a fast technical part where the flutist was to show all manners of scales, arpeggios, and technical articulation difficulties. And in this case, it's just a bright allegro. There were pieces written every year from the early, probably 1850s up till today as well, commissions for each year. It's a favorite of flutists everywhere and of mine as well, so I hope you enjoy it.
Our final selection tonight is called Coping by American composer Alyssa Morris, who is also a fine oboist. While I chose her composition thinking about how everyone with type 1 diabetes copes with its many challenges, it is also timely because of all the anxiety everyone now faces due to COVID-19. The composition explores the different ways people cope with the difficulties in life. The first movement, titled Counting, Breathing, opens and closes with repeated single notes in the piano. This reflects how many people count to 10 and breathe deeply. The second movement, Praying, is a very lyrical setting of the hymn, Lead, Kindly Light. In times of stress, many turn to prayer, yoga, and meditation. The final movement, Running, expresses how many people turn to running, walking, or hiking outdoors to relieve their stress. The themes in Running are based on the songs of two birds, the western meadowlark and the eastern bluebird. The meadowlark song is heard in the opening measures and sounds like this. The movement ends peacefully. I hope you enjoy Alyssa Morris's music and it helps you cope with any challenges you are facing. Thank you for coming tonight. I hope you are inspired to be heroes to all dealing with type 1 diabetes. Don't forget to donate.
And please join us on November 8th for our next virtual program featuring Kaio Ishimaru on harp with flute, oboe, clarinet, violin, viola, and cello. Thank you, and stay well.
We missed you.